want to welcome the director of ATIC, as I would have mentioned earlier, a very important institution in the Trinidad and Tobago landscape. I mean, on the landscape, when we deal with insurance. They are the Association of Trinidad and Tobago Insurance Companies. And I want to welcome Anand Pascal. He's here with me. Last time we saw each other, at least when he saw me, I was, and I'm, but that's a different story for a different day.
Time.
Oh, goodness. Great to see you, Anand. And,
pleasure. Nice to see you again.
I mean, this is obviously, I guess for those in the insurance field, you'll understand the language, the jargon. For those outside, they might be a bit, thrown off in terms of understanding what is this implementation of the IFRS 17. I would, from my limited knowledge, it's a kind of an international standard, as it were?
Correct. So the International Accounting Standard Board sets what we know as International Financial Reporting Standards, so IFRSs. And they've implemented a new one that's adopted by insurance companies all around the world called IFRS 17, which guides how insurance companies report on their financial statements. And that's the important distinction I think I really wanted to share this morning as well, that this is a reporting standard and it affects how insurance companies report their results, report to their regulators at the end of a period. And that's the primary change on this whole implementation, because it doesn't change how anyone interacts with the insurance company. So
it will not dictate the interaction between customer and insurance company. It's really more based on your end of year or end of term reports to that international. I guess the reports will be dictated by this new international standard.
Correct. Absolutely correct, because the interaction between any policyholder and their insurance company is determined by their contract. So the terms and the conditions of their contract remain the same, nothing changes. But what really changes is how insurers report. This new accounting standard is intended to improve the transparency of financial statements and allow insurers to be compared and in an international setting or in your local setting, for example, with our local regulator, the central bank.
Okay. What about claim paying ability? People will also look at that part of it too. Is that also under this particular umbrella?
So nothing changes with respect to how claims are paid. Again, it's covered currently by your current contract. I'd always encourage people to review their contracts. And if they have any questions, speak to their agent, speak to their broker, call their insurance company. But it's all how your claims are paid, are submitted and paid, are governed by your contract, and that does not change whatsoever with the implementation of this standard.
So I'm going to use some insurance jargon here now. I know prior to this, from my research, there would have been the IFRS 4. How does it differ, this new 17 differ to that particular structure that was in place?
Oh. Well, I could spend a whole day talking about that, which I will try not to. Yeah. But it really is about the timing of and the reporting of the underlying transactions. The language certainly has changed a lot. So things that people became accustomed to in seeing our financial statements previously, they're going to see new terms and new jargon, and it's going to take a little while, I think, for everybody to understand that. So I think the language has ultimately changed. There are some new techniques and standards in how we assess what is considered a reserve and those types of things for reserves for liabilities that we owe to policyholders. And those are the primary changes. If I try to get into any more detail than that, we'll be here for the rest of the day.
It might get a bit technical. Yeah. But when we consider insurers in TNT, this new application, this 17, does this apply, even though I know it's an international standard, and international, I guess, to me, would incorporate, big territories, the region, but does it apply solely to Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time, or other, let's say, regional partners are also under this umbrella?
That's a good question. So it applies to all companies who report. It's the International Accounting Standards Board that set these.
Okay.
The local accounting body, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, ICAT, have adopted these standards, and the local regulator, the central bank, and other regulators in the region also adopt these same standards. So it allows all our local insurers to be comparative You know, when we want to grow and go outside of the region and expand, this is like also a passport, because we are on the same basis as any other country or any other company out there in the world as well.
Everything is above board.
Correct.
So, you know, change is constant, you know, and I would imagine in your particular field, any change will always be in the realm of improvement of the product and the service. What's the benefit really for, let's say, customers, shareholders, investors? I would imagine there would be benefits derived from this change to the 17.
Absolutely. From my experience and the experience of the industry as we go through this, it is a standard that there's a lot more information. You see the financial statements have now grown to be more, a much larger document. And if you peruse those carefully, you'll start to realize that there's a lot more information that allows you to understand better how an insurance company works, how that particular insurance company operates, and the products that are successful, what are the risks associated with that insurance company, and the potential areas of strength and opportunity. So it gives more information, and you just have to spend some time and read those financial statements. Go to people who you know can help you assess and understand the financial statements if you are not financially inclined, and you can get a lot of information out there. That's the real big benefit of it.
In terms of information itself, for those just wanting to get more knowledge, just to do a greater read on the IFRS 17, is there anywhere out there via the World Wide Web? Can we Google it and just get general information?
So you can start off by looking at the ATIC website.
Okay.
So that's www.atic.org.tt, or you can go to the International Accounting Standards Board, their website, and you can see information not just on IFRS 17, but all international accounting standards, as well as you can go to your individual insurance company's website, and most insurers will have some information or guidance towards things like the implementation of IFRS 17 or other things happening in their company.
And I want to close the same way we started, with that opportunity for you to remind customers looking on that it's really to deal with the statements, how it's delivered, how it's ventilated to its customers, shareholders, all those investors, as opposed to the actual interaction between a customer and insurance company.
Yeah, and that's really the point to take away this morning, that, you know, while people may have seen that these changes are happening, some companies have already reported on the IFRS 17 results. What it really means is how those companies report their results to the public. It does not change the way that you as a policyholder interact with your insurance company. You pay premiums the same way, you submit and file your claims the same way, and any questions or queries you have, you go through the same channels. Talk to your agent, talk to your broker, call your insurance company.
And I'm happy that distinction is made, you know, bold, it's clear, and it's a greater understanding coming from Anand, who took his time this morning to be here with us to give us the details. Thank you so much, and keep us posted with all the developments.
Nice to be here.
That's right, Director of ATIC, Anand Pascal, touching base with us. We get ready to touch base with you. We'll open the lines. The forum is all clear. Bring forward your concerns. Let's hear from you. And the numbers, let's put it up immediately so you could start to get to that while we go on a very short break this morning. You can touch base via 624-8721 or 627-8658. Your calls up next.